Notes for 21.1, target C5.7BF. These are the acid-base reactions, also known as a neutralization reaction. Okay, so a neutralization reaction. Okay, when an acid and base react to form a salt and water. Now remember, this will happen in aqueous solutions. So your acids and bases will be aqueous solutions. You'll mix them together, they'll react and form a salt and water. As long as you have a strong acid with a strong base, it will actually be neutral. You will get a neutral solution. Remember, that's a pH of 7. If you don't have a strong acid or you don't have a strong base, if you have a weak acid with a strong base, a strong acid with a weak base, or you have a weak acid and a weak base, it may not be neutral. So just keep that in mind. So do not give the definition that neutralization reaction is one when you mix them and you get a neutral solution, because that's not true. It's when an acid and a base react to form a salt and water. Let me give you an example. We have hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid, and we react it with sodium hydroxide, which is a strong base. All neutralization reactions are also your double replacement. Now, we have done double replacement before, so that makes this a little bit easier. In a double replacement reaction, you've got your positive and negative, and your positives switch places. So that means Na will go with Cl. Remember, Na is positive, so it goes first. Na is a +1, Cl is a -1, so that's NaCl. And then you're going to get water. Notice H and OH come together to form water. I like to write it as HOH so I can balance these more easily when I write out the full balanced reaction. This one would actually be balanced, and your NaCl is your salt, and your HOH is your water, your H2O. So you will always get water, and then the salt is going to depend on what acid and what base you have reacted together. Let me give you one that's just a little more complicated. We'll just change our acid. We'll use the same base. So we have NaOH. Okay, same thing's going to happen. Positive ones switch places. So here we're going to get a different salt. You have Na combining with SO4. Now we need to be careful here. Your SO4 has 2 H's. That means this has a 2- charge, where your Na only has a +1. So 2- and a +1 do not add up to 0. So you have to write that salt as Na2SO4. Water is still water. I know there's 2 H's here and 1 OH there, but it's still H and OH because that's a +1 and that's a -1. Many people will say, oh, this is going to be H2OH. Well, then that's H3O, which is not water. You're not going to get that. You have to get water. And then this is our correct salt because they add up to 0. What does this mean then? Where did the other H go? Well, it's not a balanced equation, so you're going to have to balance the equation. So I know that I have 2 H's here. I only have 1 H right here, so I'm going to put a 2. Now that gives me 2 OH's. Over here I only have 1, so I'll put a 2 here. That gives me 2 NA's, which makes up for the 2 NA's there. It is now balanced. So always check your charges. They could get a little more complicated. Let's say maybe we have, we'll go with boric acid. H3BO3, I believe it is. Might be a BO4. And then let's do calcium hydroxide, CaOH2. Why would this be more difficult? Well, it's not really, except you really have to check your charges and you have to be careful when balancing. Okay. Again, my easy one is water, HOH. I'm always going to get HOH. That comes from this and this. So what is my salt? Well, that's coming from my positive ion, which is Ca, and it's a 2+. You can look at its position, or hydroxide's always -1, and there's 2 of them, so I know that's a 2+. And then look at your borate. If it has 3 hydrogens, I know it's a 3-. Notice those don't add up to 0. Lowest common multiple is 6, or you can do the switching, which means I'll need 3 Cas. 3 times 2 is 6, and I will need 2 borates. Again, make sure you use parentheses around that. Now, again, it's not balanced. Okay, it is not balanced. Right off the bat, we know that we've got 3 calciums. You only have 1 there. So I'm going to put a 3 here. That gives me 3 calciums, but notice 3 times 2 is 6. 6 hydroxides when I only have 1 here. So I'm going to put a 6 there. That gives me 6 hydrogens. I only have 3 here. So if I put a 2 there, that will give me 6, but that gives me 2 borates, which should have been a 2 here, because 2 times 3 is 6, not 3 times 3. All right, so now we are good. There's your balanced equation. So you not only have balanced the equations, when you're doing these, we know that water is always a product. The other one's a salt. You're checking your charges so that your salt is correct. So you are predicting your products. Not only you're predicting the salt and the water, you're also balancing them properly, which covers the whole objective. For the 10th point on there, you'd have to predict how many moles you would need to balance the equation, or to neutralize something. So let's say we had 1.75 moles of acid. They might ask you, well, how many moles of calcium hydroxide do you need to balance that then? This takes us back to stoichiometry. We have 1.75 moles of H3BO3, and I need to know how many moles of CaOH2 I need. This, remember, if moles are here, moles have to be on the bottom. So this is our mole-to-mole ratio, mole-to-mole. Okay, the short part of your stoichiometry. Okay. When you have a mole-to-mole ratio, you use the coefficients from your balanced equation. So out in front of CaOH2, calcium hydroxide, I have a 3. In front of boric acid, I have a 2. So take your 1.75, times it by 3, and divide it by 2, and you get 2.625 moles. Significant digit-wise, you would just need 3, so 2.63 moles would be our answer. That's how many moles of calcium hydroxide you would need to neutralize 1.75 moles of boric acid. And that's it. So really, none of it's new except the definition of neutralization. Okay, neutralization, when an acid and base react to form a salt and water. It's double replacement, so we've predicted products of double replacement before, and we've balanced equations before, and we've done mole-to-mole ratios before, stoichiometry. So it's really a big repeat. All right, so go to your worksheets, practice a few of those. Remember, if you have any questions, send me an email.